So today we're going to talk about image resources. I got on here just some of the topics we're going to gloss over today. Just free images, image compressors, image converter, and image software, resizing, image palette colors, Favicon or Favicon, buttons, icons, and logos. One of the first things I want to go over is just the free images. And I'll push this on the website, the directory toolkit as well. So don't feel like you have to write any of these down if you don't want to. Feel free to do that if you do want to scribble, but I will make this available to everybody on the site for the video afterwards. So here's just some free ones. I think John mentioned Jump Story the other just a little bit ago, but that one is a paid one. These are all free, and I'm going to jump over to the website just to kind of show you what they look like and how good a content it is on all these. I'll just go to Unsplash is a pretty popular one. So Pixabay, and these are all similar on these. They're all kind of free images. And again, just the way any of these free ones work, you just basically type anything that you're looking for into there. So we'll just do, and again, you may find different image focuses on different ones that some of them are good. Some of them will be better. I'm just going to use a generic term of business on here, and it'll just pull up business images. And these are all royalty free stock images, and you can use them in your particular presentations and download them, resize them, whatever you want. So here's a little, money stacking business thing. Here's like a business meeting. And again, all you have to do is just click on that and download the image, scroll through, and it'll keep loading more and more images. You can kind of pick one that you like. And a lot of people don't like stock photography because it all looks the same. Obviously, if you have a camera, a professional photographer, you can take your own images and do the same thing. Obviously, doing it yourself is just as cheap as free, but these are all on here ready for you to use. And all of these services are pretty similar in terms of that. The clean PNG. This one is an interesting one because what it does is it basically finds transparent art. So maybe you have a black background or something that you want to do an overlay on, and you just need something that is a transparent one with a transparent background. These are all there's a coronavirus one if you want to stick that over top of an image and just drag that into one of these platforms. So these are all transparent images. So that's an interesting look for that one. That's unique to the clean PNG. And so these are just a couple other ones. These are all free, but again, those are free images for everybody to use. And so once you have the image, maybe you have your own image and you want to do some other types of items too there. So there's a bunch of image compressors, and we went over this before in another webinar probably 2 weeks ago. So I won't go into that much detail on here for these, but these are all just compressors that basically compress the size, keeps it the same image size, but just compresses the size of the file, not the size of the image. And then that just keeps it at the the same basically look where you can't really tell to the naked eye that it's different, but it basically can sometimes reduce it by 70% or more depending on if it's a compressed or non-compressed image when you started it. So I'll just use this as an example of the compressed JPEG. All you would do is you'd upload a file. And if it's not compressed, actually, let me do the compressed PNG because I actually have one of these here in that folder. That's just a portable network graphic, but this has a different file type than the JPEG. So I'm gonna pull up there. I'm gonna do that slide cover for today again. I'm gonna upload it, and then it basically uploads it and compresses it. And so now here it says it compressed at 68%, and then all you have to do is download it. And then now here is that file is now downloaded. I have it available to me, and it is 68% smaller, but it looks exactly the same. It's the same dimensions as it was before. It's just 70% smaller. And so now when you're uploading those category images or any of those other slider images for your particular directory, then now you're using 70% less bandwidth than you would have been had you not compressed it. So all of these compressing softwares are pretty much similar. and they just decrease the JPEG or PNG depending on what it is or the capabilities of those. And some of these have a couple extra different functions in terms of resizing or adding some other stuff in there or resizing it when it does get done, but they're all pretty much the same. GIF.
Have you noticed any quality issues with it? Will it pixelate it? Or?
No. So usually web quality stuff is pretty good because JPEG compress really good anyway. Those portable network graphics, those are made for network stuff, and so not really. It's pretty not noticeable at all. The difference. I didn't set this up right. This is actually a redone one on this side that I originally didn't decompress here, but no, they're pretty good. And again, depending on the emulator or the image, if you see some, degradation or whatever, then just use a different service or something or different, format. We'll get to formatting here in a minute, but it's normally not recognizable. And in fact, what I'd normally recommend that you upload a little bit larger image, kind of like I was talking about with the category image, a little bit larger than you really need anyway. And then the BD system will naturally compress it down into that smaller, container. And so even if it was a little bit pixelated at the higher resolution, when it shrinks it back down, it's still using that lower resolution image as a whole, but it looks the same once it's compressed just a little bit, So rarely does it affect that. That's kind of what these are set up to do. It's like a lossless compression is what it is. So if you ever hear that term, a lossless compression, it basically means you're not losing any of the quality of the image. Some of the other ones, like I think the GIF and some of the older bitmaps do not compress well. So if it's a bitmap, that's kind of an older format. Those don't compress very well. So then we have, not only can compress, but let's say you have an image in a particular file version and you want to get it to a different file version. There's a ton of these on the internet. I'm just offering this one up because this one's worked flawlessly and literally has 200 different formats that it converts between. And they say it's a Swiss Army knife for file conversions, and it truly is. Basically any audio, video, document, ebook, archive, image, spreadsheet, presentation, you name it. They've got 200 formats that they convert, and I'll just kind of show you how that works and how easy it is. Now they offer it's free for, I forget what the pricing is. They have like an API on there, but they offer, I think it's like 25 conversions a day. So again, how many of you guys are converting 25 files a day? It's basically free as far as I'm concerned in terms of doing this. This is basically how it works. So all you do is select a file. You can do it for URL, Google Drive, Dropbox, or your OneDrive. So it's kind of got some good integrations there. But let's say I just want to convert that. I'll just keep using that same image. That's a PNG file. And then I basically just say I want to convert it to a document. You can convert it to a PDF. Now, it doesn't convert every one to every 200. It kind of picks what you're trying to convert, and it has certain things that it can convert to. But you can do a PSD file, a TIFF, a web platform, Photoshop, you name it. It can convert it, EPS for any other kind of high res stuff. So let's say I wanted that PNG to a JPEG, for example. Then you can also have a couple options here. You can change the output width and height. So say you want to convert it and automatically convert it to a certain height and width. You can do that, have it fit max or crop it or scale it, strip any EXIF data. So this actually, here you go. This is what you want to stick your Getty images through, right? It'll actually strip the metadata, EXIF data that's embedded in the file out of the image. And then you can change the JPEG quality as well. So usually you put it at 100. That's kind of the lossless, best quality but least compression, and you can change that as well. Or you can just let it go with the defaults, and then you just hit convert. And looks like I was demoing earlier today, so it looks like I used my my limit of messing stuff up. Today, so I guess it's 25 images or 10 conversion minutes. I was trying to convert a big file, or I probably went over. Anyway, the bottom line is it literally just converts that image on there instantly, and then it just pops up on the screen. You hit download, and then it's in your pocket for that file, and it's ready to go. But it works great. So Cloud Convert.
Have you noticed any issues uploading the WPEG files, the web files? Because I
would always convert it from that. Yeah, because it
when I first uploaded those a couple of those files, I didn't realize that they were, I copied and paste, downloaded them from the internet and try to upload them into the back end, and it wouldn't read it.
Yeah, it doesn't read it. It only, I think they're set up to read just JPEG and PNG and bitmap, I think.
Oh, it's not? Okay. I thought I saw a message that they're now it allows you to read them, but maybe not.
Oh, maybe, but they never used to be. Used to be those three. But again, so you could come in here, you could convert that.
To a different.
Yeah, to a different. You just pick that one and convert it to another one. But you can kind of see on here how they have all the archive files, all the audio files, CAD files, ebook. You can change an EPUB to a MOBI, changes fonts and images, presentation files, spreadsheets.
A lot easier than Photoshop.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm throwing this out here today, is because a lot of times people don't have Photoshop, or they don't want to pay and they don't want to learn like an 80-hour class on how to use Adobe Illustrator or something. Like there's so many things out here that do it for free. They just do one thing really good, but just use these are the tools I use all the time. I don't have Photoshop. I don't have Macromedia. I don't have any Adobe stuff. I don't have any of that stuff, because these just all do it for free and do it fast. So that's Cloud Convert. For converting files. Now, let's say you want to resize the image. Let's say it's too big. I just kind of showed you that converter does that as well when it converts it. But let's say you just want to resize the image. So that's simple imagery. It's just simpleImageResizer.com. And then it does what it says, simple image resizer. Let's say that's the size. You can either do a percentage. You want it 50% smaller. Or let's say you want it 500 pixels wide. It uploads the image, automatically resized it, and then that's it. You just download the new file, and then there it is. There's my resized, compressed little image, 500 pixels wide. It's now ready to right-click, save as, and download. So simpleImageResizer.com works great. It's fast and just instant download, and really no issues on that at all. The other item that I like to do here is Sprout Social. And the reason I like this one, it's kind of let's see, what was that, landscape? So that one resizes images to whatever you want. This one, it's sproutsocial.com/landscape. And what it does is it's basically a free social media image resizer. So let's say that I'm uploading that slide and I want to resize it for Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever that social media thing is. It'll resize that to fit any particular social model you want. Let's say I now want that as Instagram, and I want that as and it'll tell you which ones it can or can't do based on the size compatibility, just because it doesn't fit that kind of, size dimensions. It's not square. It doesn't want to truncate it. But that's big enough. I can actually do my landscape video for Instagram. And then, again, we're back on this image sizing thing. So that it kind of just overlays that on there of what it'll fit it in there, and I kind of get it as close as I can, and that looks good. And then you just download, and now it's automatically set up for that particular Instagram size resources with that social media platform, and it's just ready to go. And now you can go upload that on Instagram. So it kind of does it's kind of the poor man's. It doesn't do them all automatically, but it does allow you to resize it per social media whatever session you want to do. So that's Sprout Social. So those are the two image resizers I use. And again, there's lots more on the internet that do those. Those are just a couple. So let's say you don't want to resize it. You don't want to, compress it. You just want to literally just change. You saw that, and these are all kind of iterative, right? That last one had a cropping function, right? Once you set the dimensions for that Instagram or whatever. This one, just allows you to crop the image right away. And you can do JPEG, PNG, or GIF or GIF on these. And so it's just I love image. I love img.com, and then /crop-image. And then literally all you do is you select the image. Again, I'm going to use the same one again. And then now it just kind of does what the other one did, only I'm not changing it for certain service. I'm just doing a crop option. So now you just change it on the side. Let's say you want 500 by 200, and it'll automatically kind of resize that, and you can kind of see what you want. Let's say, no, that's not what I want. I want a 500 by 300. It'll, oops, sorry. I want a 600 by 200 because it was a little bit wider. There we go. So you guys get the idea. So now you kind of set your dimensions, you move it over there, and then you literally just hit crop image. It does the little cropping, and then you download the image after it crops it. So I love image, cropper, and then that just, it's just a good visual depiction of that. You can kind of see what you're doing on screen and then just crop it. One of the other ways, if you have PowerPoint or something like that, you can also crop it in PowerPoint and then just right click and save as image in PowerPoint. That usually works as well if you guys have that, but this is a good online version. So now let's say you have the image, you got it all cropped. Now you're just going to use that in a social media platform, but you want to, you don't have the color sets. You want to kind of figure out what color you want to use for that that image. Sorry. So this will be CSS Drive /image palette. And what this allows you to do is you basically pick the file, and then by picking the file and hitting Get Palette, it'll upload the image. And it'll kind of pick some of the colors off from there that are in that image, and then just allow you to pick the hex code off from there. And now it looks like it doesn't get all of them because it's probably starting at the top of the image. Let me just use this one as an example as well. There we go. It's a little better version. But so I have this Crello image here, and so now it has different, light color palette, medium color, dark color, and these are kind of, I guess, colors that match would go well with what the images are in here. And then it also has the complete color palette of the image itself. So let's say that's the yellow. Now I know that's FFC000. That's the hex code for that particular exact color. That's the green, and they kind of store some in there for the last color. So now if I'm doing a presentation or a image thing somewhere else and I want to know the color, it kind of gives me the color palette for any particular image. So I found that tool to be really useful. Next thing is Favicon or image icons. Basically, this is the little image that's at the top of your web browser. So you notice this has a little bit of a leaf here. My Hudsonville one has the little bullseye out of the O for my Hudsonville. You notice mine, my toolkit thing just has a little, actually a little image box there, like tools. So that's what that is. And it also, there actually is thumbnails that'll download for your touch icon for your Apple iOS or your Android, that little, big icon. You can set that up. So if you go to my directorytoolkit.com and you add that to your desktop or your favorites on your phone, it's actually going to put a little toolkit on there instead of the Favicon. It's going to be a high-res Apple icon of the toolkit. So this website actually does the generation for you. And it's called realfavicongenerator.net. And what it basically does is that you pick an image. It has to be at least 70 by 70. And normally I would you would pick an image that is square. So let me just pick my toolkit one as an example, that toolkit one I just demoed.
It's also better to,
yeah,
it's also better to use a transparent one as well.
Yeah, it is, unless you don't want it to be transparent. I'll show you. You know, there may be a good reason you don't want it to be transparent, because sometimes those do hide into the background. If you do, you know, because it obviously if it's transparent, any of the background shows through, and it may hide part of your icon or make it obscured potentially. But it recommends 260 by 260 on there. But it's a minimum of 7070. And the reason for the 260 by 260 is because when you get the actual icons that are, or for the high res screens, like on the iPhone or Samsung or something, sometimes the 260 by 260 is not as pixelated, because that's the highest resolution it goes. But it demos it on here. That's what it looks like, would look like on my Toolkit site. There's my high res favicon for iOS. And the Android, you actually has Windows for those 5 people that have a Windows phone. And you can change around the different items here. You can change that. So you can add margins, you know, so if you want it a little bit smaller there, it kind of tweaks the image around there. You can actually do a drop shadow with a color if you wanted. I don't know what that whole background.
I'm gonna go.
All right. Sounds good.
See you next week.
Yep. And we'll post the full video again on directorytoolkit.com or directoryvideos.com for anybody that needs to drop off. So now this does it for the Mac OS Safari as well. Anyway, you get all this stuff done. You hit generate your fav icons in HTML code, and then it'll actually make a downloadable file that you can add all of those files to your Brilliant Directories website. And you're going to want to add that to the baseline, the top level folder in the cPanel file folder that we went over earlier, and just drag and drop all of these files in there that are in this zip package. And then this code right here, you simply copy and paste that into the header of your Brilliant Directory site. And then when you do that, it adds all the code that you need in there for the Apple Touch icon and Android and everything else. And so when somebody when you upload those files and that code is installed in your directory, it'll install all those images for your system and kind of make it more mobile friendly for saving the actual directory. The next topic is buttons. And so this is the buttonoptimizer.com. And what this does is it just creates buttons that you can totally morph to your colors, your wording, drop shadow, font type, and an icon for your particular directory. So I think this is kind of self-explanatory here, but whatever you change on the settings here, it just has the button here, and then you can download the actual picture, or you can get the actual CSS code that renders that, so you can go in and change the color and any of the stuff later just by editing the CSS code. And again, that's just copy and paste into your BD site wherever you want that button. So those work good if you don't like the standard Bootstrap button code. Next topic is icons. And so the icons are basically some different free icons on here. Here's just a couple COVID packages. I think this is from the Icon Finder. But they're just people that develop and upload icon sets that are free. So it's sometimes if you have a particular niche site, or you have something that you want to provide to your audience, a particular icon you're looking for, some of these are free resources that you can use and then use those on your site instead of paying for icon sites. Again, there's tons of icon sites that are out there for paid uses, but these are some free resources that you can get additional icons for your website. Hey, Scott, welcome.
Howdy.
So you missed part of the presentation here. This will be on the replay. We're just going through some free resources here, and we're on logos. So obviously, everybody needs the logo developer or logo for their website, for their BD directory. It does have a pretty good setup in there automatically for you on your website. I'll show you guys where that's at real quick. If you go into the settings and design settings for your particular website, you can either upload an image, or you can kind of do a multi-combo of text and a image inside the website. So if you do not upload an image it's going to default to the logo design here in the design settings tab. And it'll just have whatever icon you pick here for the Font Awesome icon, and then the text and slogan that you have. And so the one I actually have for the Brilliant Directories one, I just have it as a demo here using the baseline stuff that's available inside of the resource kit. And so that's what that looks like. But if you actually upload an image, and this is in general settings for the image settings and brand images, if you upload a website logo, which I have not, obviously, because I still have this one. If you upload a website logo here, it'll automatically just replace that you have in there. So just be aware that if you upload a website logo, it is going to automatically replace that. I have had some people that actually just want to change out the image icon, like it's a round icon, but they still want to leave the text. That will take some customization to do that, but we can do that for you if you want. But that's very few people do that. They just kind of either do that or the image. But that's where that's at. But sometimes if you do want to add an image or a logo, sometimes you don't have one or you don't want to pay somebody to do that. So here's some free resources where you can either go find a logo or design a logo for yourself. So the first two ones on here are if you're looking for a logo for somebody else. This is where you would go. World Vector Logo or seekvectorlogo.com. And basically what that does is they have a stockpile of ready logos to use for major companies, mid-level companies. If you're looking for an official logo for somebody, all of those are in there in vector format at those two locations. So I've used that a couple times to go grab some official logos for something if you need to use it for a particular presentation or use. And it just makes it easier to find than just searching on Google. So those are a couple things. But if you want to make a logo for yourself, freelogodesign.org and looka.com are a couple of examples. So let me just go to looka.com here to just kind of show you what that can do. And there's a bunch of other ones on the web that do that. But we'll use we'll do business directory. Let's say that's my business name. You want to get started, and it kind of walks you through steps of onboarding, basically, on what you want to do. So what is it? Let's say it's a directory. I don't even know if they have a category for that, but we'll try that. Then it picks actual logos that you like. So let's say I like that one, and it kind of just gets formats of logos that you like, so that doesn't give you something that you don't. So there's my 5, and then let's go with my colors, blue, red, and teal. And then you can do your actual company name. So again, my company name is Business Directory. And then it's basically telling you to pick a shorter business name. It's just saying, obviously, on logos, the more type you have, the harder it is to look. And let's say a slogan. Let's say get in business or something. We'll just call it, that'll be my slogan. It's a terrible one, but we'll use it. And then you can pick different symbols. So you can search for symbols. Let's say suitcase, because I was using that for mine. And then you can just pick a couple different logo sets that you like to kind of give them a general idea to start doing some logos. You can pick a bunch of those, and then you just hit explore, and then it just kind of does a combination of the colors, the icon, the actual text you put in there, and then your slogan. And now you can kind of go through here and see. I mean, these aren't too Gucci of logos, but you can kind of start refining something that you want. Let's say, use a guess here. Let's say that's a little bit closer. And so let's say you want to start with that. Now it kind of opens it up, and now you can kind of tweak and look at different variations, knowing that that's fairly close. And then you can kind of tweak other options. So let's say I don't like that text. When you click on any particular item of that, it'll just change that particular aspect of the logo. And then you can kind of scroll through different options. And long story short, as soon as you go through all those and you kind of tweak all that stuff, lo and behold, pretty soon you have a fairly decent looking logo that you got that you can download for free, or you can obviously upgrade and get merch from them as well. But just some an interesting software if you want to create a logo on your own.